All right, guys. So today we're checking out a pair of headphones that I picked up on Amazon for $99, mainly because they were unique. They offered something a little bit different that I haven't seen in other headphones that we've tested. And the pair that we're going to talk about, I believe, is called the Philips Go. There's kind of some confusion based off what I've seen on Amazon and their packaging. I see the word Go in huge letters, but I don't see it anywhere on the Amazon listing. I see Philips solar powered headphones. I see a model number of A6219. But we're going to call these the Philips Go because that's what I see on the box, and it just makes things a little bit simpler instead of A6219. But what this is a wireless pair of headphones that are powered by a solar powered panel on the headband. Now, it calls these power foils, so I don't know if that's a company that makes the solar power panel that is on the top of the headband, but essentially you have a pair of wireless headphones that potentially could never run out of power because it's being powered the whole time that you're outside. And again, there could be some other ones out there in the market like these, but I haven't seen anything like this. And this is appealing to me because I've said this, that I am not always one to make sure that my headphones are charged. And if it is charged, it does get 80 hours of battery life. So battery just seems to not be an issue with this pair. And again, that's what made these appealing. Now, some other things about these is they do have Bluetooth 5.4, so they do support multi-point connection. The ear pads on these are not only removable, they're washable. So you can just take them off, run them under some water. And again, I think this kind of ties into the fact that the solar panel is kind of wanting you to use these outdoors. But if you're using these running, if you're using these while riding a bike and you're sweating, it's nice to know that you could just pop these off and just wash the ear pads like that. Now, it does come in with an IP55 rating, so if you are using them outdoors, it's nice to know that these do have some dust protection along with the water protection. Although these are not waterproof, they're going to be fine if it does start to rain or if you do sweat or if they get splashed on, so that's nice. Just, kind of keep them from dropping into water. Another thing I do want to kind of revert back to with the charging, because I did say that they charged with that solar panel. It also charges via USB-C. But oddly enough, in the packaging, it does not come with a USB-C cable. I think they really do want you to take advantage of the solar charging that these have. So I thought that was interesting. I haven't actually gotten a pair of wireless headphones that don't come with the USB-C cable. Now, these do work with Philips headphone app. I do recommend using this for a number of reasons. One, it allows you to keep these updated. You can actually see within the app how much the light is charging the headphones. It kind of shows you, and it's kind of cool to pull that out while you're outside just to see what it's doing. There are some EQ options in here. I heavily recommend kind of playing around with this. I think out of the box, they sound really good, but I think they can sound great once you kind of tweak the EQ settings a little bit. So you can customize the EQ settings, which I'll talk about a little bit later. There is a bass enhance feature that's already turned on, and this is just kind of helping these have bass at lower volume. It doesn't mean that you have to blast these to be able to feel the bass. You can get it, if you have them turned down pretty low. And this is on by default, and I do recommend just leaving this on altogether. It also has a gaming mode, which basically is a mode that cuts down lag. If you're going to use these for gaming or watching movies or TV shows, you'd want to, switch this on so you don't have to worry about lag. And also within the app, this is where you would turn on your multi-point connection. So if you're going to connect to your phone, your tablet, or your laptop and your phone or anything like that, you would do all of this within the app. Now, as far as the headphones overall, again, it's pretty simple what comes in the box. It's just the headphones themselves. It is a very lightweight pair of headphones. You pick them up, there's not a whole lot of weight to them at all. They do not fold down, they don't swivel, they just basically are what you see. So there is a little bit of stiffness to these, but I didn't have any discomfort. I thought it was very interesting that the headband was silicone instead of like a pleather or fabric material. But I think this kind of goes back to wanting people to use these outdoors. Having that silicone means it's not going to get as dirty. It's not going to wear as bad over time like a regular headband that's on other headphones. So that's nice. And all of your controls are on the right side, and they are using physical buttons, which I'm a huge fan of. And I also like the fact that they give you control over everything. Now, one thing I am not the biggest fan of, and I've said this with other headphones that I've tested that have this, inside the headband, you can see the exposed cable that basically runs from the ear pads up to that panel that's in the headband. I don't like exposed cables on wireless headphones because I feel like if anything catches this or pulls it or yanks it or cuts it or anything like that, it essentially can just make your headphones useless. So now let's just go ahead and move over to the sound. Now, like I said, out of the box, I think they sound good. You can tell that they are going for a more bass heavy sound. It's a little more pushed to the low end, and essentially that's kind of making these sound warm overall. I don't feel like it's as detailed in the mids and the treble, just again the way that it is out of the box. I went around and played around with some EQ settings, and I liked the treble boost. I think that kind of balanced out pretty well, but I still went in and did the custom tuning and found a setting that I liked a little bit better, which I'll show here. So if you do get these and you kind of want to see how I liked to have these tuned, doesn't mean that that's the right one for you, but this is just, again, personal preference, and I like this a little bit better than what it was tuned out of the box. So with my tuning, the bass is very, very solid. It definitely has a nice punch to it. It is not bloated to the point that it's destroying anything else. Again, though, the tuning the way that it is out of the box, I do feel like the bass is slightly warming everything up a little too much. But with the tuning that I have, I was able to elevate the mids to sound a little bit more forward. I do not feel like the mids are the strong point on these headphones. I don't feel like you can get it to where vocalists sound like right there in front of you. But luckily, tweaking these a little bit, you can get it to where the vocalists stand out just slightly in front of everything else. Like if you're listening to a band, it's not going to sound like the drums or the guitars and everything are just taking over and the vocalists sound like they're in the background. The treble on these can bring out a lot of details. It is not overly bright. It's not overly harsh. So there's no ear fatigue when it comes to that. Again, I feel like the focus was definitely the low end with this pair. It is a fun pair to listen to. It is definitely not one if you're looking to have like a flatter sound or a reference sound. That is definitely not what they're going for. So if you like a dynamic tuning, I really think you'll enjoy the way that these sound. And then when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, I think again, because they're going for that dynamic tuning, the bass does kind of make these feel like you are in a smaller to medium sized room, so they don't sound as open as some other headphones that we've tested, especially in this price range. But they do still do a really good job of being able to tell where sounds are coming from. So my overall opinion is this: if you're looking for a case, if you're looking for like the highest end Bluetooth codecs, and you're looking for a lot of features when it comes to that, you may be slightly disappointed. But I think for $100, a pair that is definitely different than some other ones in the market. I mean, being able to take off the ear pads, wash them, having that solar powered headband. Again, I haven't seen this before. And just the ability to just not have to worry about charging them and not have to worry about battery life just in general. I think that peace of mind is going to be enough of a reason for a lot of people to be interested in these. And I definitely think the sound is where they need to be in this price range. Is it going to compare to the Sonys and the Bose and Sennheisers and all of the other ones that are about $300-400? No. But this is a $100 pair of headphones, although there is a lot of really good $100 wireless noise canceling headphones in the market. So if you are looking for noise canceling, obviously you're not getting that with these. But the sound is very dynamic. It's very boomy. It's energetic. It's kind of what you would want if you are going to be out running or if you are going to be outdoors riding a bike. So it kind of plays to what I feel these are intended for. I don't know really how portable they are because, again, there's no bag. They don't fold down. I don't feel like they're fragile, though. I feel like I can throw them in a bag and just not have to worry about them. But overall, it's a unique headphone. I felt like it was worth checking out, so I spent the $99, and honestly, I don't regret it. I think this is an interesting pair that gives you something a little bit different than what's out there with other headphones in the market. But guys, that's my video on the Philips Go or Philips solar powered headphones or the Philips A6219. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.